what somewhat, maybe I would use the word terrifies me, is the speed of how things happen now. Is like, if someone basically, I could even just think of that in a conversation. It's like somebody writes me an email, a very long-winded email. You can just put it in ChatGPT, say, give me a response, and you can respond immediately. But I haven't even taken the time to integrate what it was. It was just done automatically. I'm not really owning the response. There's a lot of things that it's almost like a dashboard is only as good as how great you can go into the back end and see
Right.
what is behind driving what's on the dashboard, or else you actually don't have any intelligence yourself. And I feel like we are in a collective journey towards deluding ourselves that by trusting artificial intelligence, things are better. But I feel like we're all going to get really dumb and lose faith on any dashboard we see or any information being shared, because it's all being done with no one at the end of the day actually understanding what's going on. So it's almost like a drive to idiocracy, which can lead to these national security risks, to these, hyper impulsive triggers on the stock market. And then I can't even imagine on the workforce space is like, hey, we can eliminate a bunch of jobs, so let's just get AI to do everything. And then only to realize, hey, nobody actually knows what this thing is doing, why it's doing it. It almost gets lost. And it the miracle and even the enthusiasm that I came starting this call, it's almost like, hold on, maybe we need to slow down and figure out what the hell is going on here, because I
Right.
don't think that space is being created.
Well, personally, Justin, you're exactly right. And there's a lot of that. It's not just an opinion. It was a very good description. There's a lot of evidence to back that up. I'll give you a concrete example. It's very fresh and it's in the book. So Google had an AI, a GPC, AI, but GPT, which is a branch of AI. GPT is the one that you can ask a question. It'll give you a written essay. It'll give you pictures. It'll do your homework for you or write a book if you wanted to. Um, and somebody said, okay, they're using this. And they said, show me a picture of a pope, you know, lead bishop of the Catholic Church, 2,000 years. And the response had a number of women in papal vestments and a shaman, with whatever. And these were this was the answer to show me a picture of a pope. And well, in 2,000 years, there have been 266 popes, no women. Now, if you want to have a debate about female priests, that's a fair debate. I leave that to others, but it's a fact that there has never been a female pope. But the Google system was producing female popes. Somebody said, give me the prompt. The prompt is the question, give me a picture of a Viking. And it came back with black Vikings. And if you've ever been to Norway, they're all, pretty white and pretty blonde. It's not a racial thing. It's just a fact. There are no black Vikings, or there were no black Vikings. So everyone's like, well, what's up with that? This thing's malfunctioning. Well, it turns out that Google was using something called prompt injection. Prompt injection means, and everyone's like, oh, the system malfunctioned. No, the system did not malfunction. And that's the point I make. It worked exactly as intended. But the prompt injection means you ask it a question. It then alters your question to reflect a bias or a preference or something that Google wishes would happen. So, for example, when you say, show me a picture of a pope, the system reads, show me a picture of a pope in a world of diversity, equity, and inclusion where, all genders are treated equally. Well, if you ask that question, you're going to get a female pope. And same thing, show me a picture of a Viking in a world where everyone, gets the same chance to, wear a helmet with horns. You're going to get a black Viking. So the point is, it wasn't a malfunction. The Google programmers behind the curtain, exactly what you were describing, just take it down a couple levels, were altering the prompts to produce a result that corresponded with their preference of the kind of world they would like to see. Now, I happen to know a lot about the Catholic Church and know a little bit less about Vikings, I guess, but I know there's never been a female pope. I know there were no black Vikings. As a subject matter expert, I can look at that output and say, well, that's garbage. That's not true. But if you have to, and this is to your point, Jason, if you have to be a subject matter expert to spot the flaws in the GPT output, what good is it in the first place if they're playing all kinds of games behind the curtain? There was another guy who said, give me a biography of, and he put in his own name. The computer didn't know who he was, but he said, give me a biography of fill in the blank. And it was the guy who was asking the question. Well, the GPT came back with a real pretty good biography. Born such and such a day, did this, did that. Went to college, whatever. At the end, it said he died in 2019, and so then the writer said, "Well," he said, "Well, okay, let's keep going. What did he die of?" Well, the computer came back with an answer, and on and on and on. It turns out, of course, that was all invented, right? They call it hallucinations, or I call it confabulation, same thing. It turns out that the guy asking the question was the obituary writer for the Telegraph, for the newspaper in the UK. And the computer saw his name in 1,000 obituaries. So he said, he must be dead. Well, he wasn't dead. He was the obituary writer. But I label this the puppy theory. And the puppy theory is, let's say you have a puppy and you're training the puppy to fetch a ball. You throw the ball. Let's say the puppy does it, brings it back. Well, you give him a pat on the head or a doggy treat or something, and you kind of encourage the behavior. GPT wants to keep you happy. It's like a puppy that wants to, please the master, and it will completely invent things, fill in the blanks out of its own imagination. It's not really imagination. Again, it's all math. Bear that in mind. So, so these, college kids are asking GPT to write their essays. It will, but don't be surprised if the professor gives you an F, because it's not even plagiarism because they're making it up, but it's invention, and it's not factual, and an expert's going to spot that. So again, I'm not bashing AI. I'm not bashing GPT. I'm just saying they're full of flaws, full of biases. They can be used for censorship, and they are being used for censorship, and full of dangers in the nuclear warfighting example, and full of financial risks in the example I gave you when we turn over the trading to AI and it takes the market straight down. So on that cheery note, I hope people enjoy the book. But I do first of all, keep it in plain English. I don't dumb it down, but I avoid the jargon. Two, try to point to the dangers and help people prepare. There are things you can do, by the way. I'm not a gold bug, but having land, gold, silver, fine art, those are all non-digital assets that AI can't touch. So have some of that in your portfolio in case these other things happen. And then three, I do give some concrete solutions. So I hope people enjoy it.
Thank you so much for listening to the Selling with Love podcast. We have some previous episodes you can tune into right here. And if you prefer the short form content where you get to the point in under 10 minutes, we do have a ton of clips from our best episodes that are being shared on this channel as well. So pick which one supports you the most. And of course, thank you for liking, subscribing, and of course, selling with love.